Measuring the Cosmos. Hey there, stargazers. I'm Dean Regas, astronomer for the Cincinnati Observatory.
And I'm James Albury, director of the Kika Silva Pla Planetarium in Gainesville, Florida. Far out fellow stargazer Marlene Hidalgo will be joining us to help you find your way around the sky tonight. Hey Dean, humor me. If you want to describe your height, what units of measure would you use?
Feet and inches.
And if you wanted to measure the distance to the moon, what would you use?
Well, I could use feet and inches, but using miles makes a lot more sense.
How about the distance to the stars?
We use light years. Distances in space are so, well, astronomical that it's hard to wrap our brains around them. So, we created new units of measure to take us around the solar system and through interstellar space.
Let's take you to the moon, Saturn, and beyond. Okay, we have our sky set up for the morning of Sunday, June 10th at 5 a.m. facing southeast. The sun is about to rise in the east, but the last quarter moon is still lighting up the pre-dawn sky. All this week, the moon will be waning and only viewable in the morning.
Every day, the moon will shift farther to the east. Here is the moon on June 10th, June 11th, June 12th, and June 13th. Now, let's zoom in on the waning crescent moon and get our tape measure out. On average, the moon is about 239,000 miles from the Earth. We can find out the precise distance to the moon anytime by bouncing lasers off the reflectors set up by the Apollo astronauts. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and company took 3 days to fly the 239,000 miles to the moon and 3 days to fly back.
Our next stop is Saturn. The beautiful ringed planet is definitely a highlight this month. Now, we have our sky set for any night this week at about 11 p.m. looking south. About halfway up in the sky, you'll find two stars, one on top of the other.
The upper star should be a little yellow in color and is no star at all. That's Saturn. To the naked eye, it doesn't jump out at you, but if we zoom in, Saturn is just the most amazing sight to see in a telescope. You can see the planet, the rings, the shadow of the rings, the moons.
Calm down, Dean. I know Saturn's your favorite planet. But let's do some measuring here. This week, Saturn is 855 million miles away. Now that number is hard to picture, so when we're talking about distances in the solar system, astronomers use a different unit of measure, the astronomical unit, or AU. 1 AU is the average distance between the Sun and the Earth. So we're about 1 AU from the Sun in miles. That's 93 million miles.
So, since Saturn is 855 million miles away, it's also about 9.2 AUs from us. AUs work great within the solar system. For example, we could say Jupiter is about 5 AUs from the Sun, Neptune is about 30 AUs from the Sun, and Voyager 1, our farthest flung spacecraft, is a whopping 120 AUs from the Sun.
Now what about that other star? Below Saturn in the south after dark. That's the star Spica in the constellation Virgo. Spica is bluer in color compared to yellow Saturn and is supposed to mark Virgo's hand holding a stalk of wheat. Marlene, take us to Spica.
Spica is about 1,500 trillion miles from Earth, or 16 million AUs. We could measure the distance to Spica in millimeters if we wanted to, but those numbers lose all meaning. Astronomers use light years as their unit of choice for measuring interstellar space. A light year is the distance light travels in a year, roughly 5.8 trillion miles. So, a light year is a distance like a mile or an AU. And Spica is a whopping 260 light years from Earth. It's by no means the farthest star you can see with the naked eye. That honor most likely goes to Deneb, the tail star of Cygnus the Swan, who you'll be learning more about this summer. Deneb is over 3,000 light years away. That means the light you see from Deneb left it about 1000 BC and is only now getting to your eyes.
So, this week, get outside to see the moon at 239,000 miles away.
Saturn from 9.2 AUs away.
And Spica at 260 light years away.
Keep looking up.